as war between Great Britain and Germany continues. From his offices deep within the Kremlin, Soviet leader Joseph Stalin is confident the non-aggression pact he made with the Germans will hold, and that he will soon have even more influence around the world.
Stalin's ideal plan was that the British and French would fight off the Germans, and that those two sides could fight it out as much as they liked, while Stalin watched from the sidelines as they exhausted themselves.
In 1939, Stalin makes a deal with Adolf Hitler. Even though Germany and the Soviet Union are hostile, Stalin signs an agreement known as the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact with the Nazis. As a result of the pact, Hitler and Stalin not only carve up Eastern Europe and together invade Poland, Stalin also commits to supplying vast quantities of raw materials to the German Reich. In November, Stalin sends one of the few people he trusts to Berlin. His foreign minister Vyacheslav Molotov. Molotov means hammer in Russian.
His nickname was Iron Ass because he could sit for so long doing work. He was intelligent, he was ruthless, and Stalin trusted him.
The next morning, Foreign Minister Molotov returns to Moscow, unaware that Hitler and his military leaders are planning a secret operation.
Hitler is capable of, shaking your hand and looking you in the eye and saying everything is okay while planning to stab you in the back. And that is clearly what's going on between Molotov and Hitler.
1 month after Molotov's Berlin visit, on December 18th, Hitler signs off on Führer Directive number 21, a plan for a massive invasion of the Soviet Union the following year. Operation Barbarossa. In the last weeks of 1940, Adolf Hitler tours German weapons factories as preparations progress for Operation Barbarossa. His plan is to attack and conquer the Soviet Union to establish more Lebensraum, living space, for the new German Empire in the East.
Die Gefolgschaft des Werkes versammelte sich in einer riesigen Montagehalle, in der aus mächtigen Stahl- und Eisenblöcken eine Rednertribüne aufgebaut war.
The operation is top secret. But within days, sources have fed the information to the Soviet intelligence services.
Stalin is receiving information from nearly every quarter, right from the belly of the beast in Berlin, from the American military attaché, from the British, and from his spy in Tokyo.
But Stalin doesn't believe what he's hearing.
Stalin is paranoid that what is happening here is a very high-level game on the part of the Western powers. They're trying to maneuver him into a one-on-one war with the previously undefeated Wehrmacht that he does not believe he's ready for at the moment. And he is bound and determined to avoid being maneuvered. You can get all the intelligence in the world, but if you are predisposed not to believe it, it doesn't really make that much difference.
June 22nd, 1941. As dawn breaks, over 3 million German soldiers poured across the border into Soviet territory. Operation Barbarossa is launched.
It's the biggest invasion force in the history of human warfare. It's just so vast. It's difficult to get one's mind around it.
If you just take the Eastern Front, it's like trying to invade the United States from San Diego to Seattle. It is, by itself, the largest war that's ever happened. That's crazy.
It's 3,000 tanks, 2,700 aircraft, another 7,000 artillery pieces, 600,000 vehicles. It is massive on a scale no one else has ever seen before.
On the morning of the invasion, Stalin is awoken by his chief of staff.
The phone rings in Stalin's bedroom, and Stalin answers it, and he just says, "The war has started." And the silence, and he can just hear Stalin breathing as he kind of wakes up and absorbs this information.
In just the first week, the Wehrmacht pushed 300 miles into Soviet territory, capturing over 400,000 troops. The German army is poised to capture Moscow. But Stalin has an ally. Four months into the invasion of the Soviet Union, the German army faces a new enemy.
It was always said that Russia's greatest general was General Winter. So the Russians were much better prepared for winter than the Germans.
Stalin still has a fear that there'll be some breakthrough into the heart of Moscow itself. But you know, something happens in this period. A piece of intelligence comes across his desk that, for once, he's willing to listen to. And it comes from his agent in Japan.
The intelligence from Stalin's agent in Tokyo suggests that Japan will not attack the Soviets' eastern border. Instead, Japan is planning to move south against British, French, and Dutch colonies in Asia, and perhaps against the United States in the Philippines. So Stalin transfers 400,000 troops that were stationed in the Soviet Far East to Moscow.
A whole new army. Fresh, untouched, fully manned, tanks, howitzers, planes.
This is the Siberian Reserve. These are troops dressed in heavy white parkas, ski troops. They're used to operating in the cold. On December 5th, Stalin launches his counteroffensive. It catches the Germans at their worst possible moment. They're tired, they're hungry, they're sick, they're freezing to death. They're out of supplies. And the Soviet offensive sweeps all before it.
The Germans are completely stunned, and they are thrown back over 100 miles. It's an astonishingly successful counteroffensive, and Moscow is safe.
Over the next weeks, Soviet troops halt the Wehrmacht and begin to push the Germans back. Stalin has stemmed the tide.